इन द नेम ऑफ अल्लाह। आज जो हमारा टॉपिक है वो है बजटरी कंट्रोल, बजटरी कंट्रोल। पहले बात करते हैं मीनिंग ऑफ बजट के बारे में। व्हाट इज बजट? इसका सुबह द बजट इज अ फॉर्मल स्टेटमेंट ऑफ एस्टिमेटेड इनकम्स एंड एक्सपेंसेस, ठीक है ना। सो दिस मीन्स, तो आपने द फॉर्मल स्टेटमेंट ऑफ एस्टिमेटेड इनकम्स एंड एक्सपेंसेस बेस्ड ऑन द फ्यूचर प्लान्स एंड ऑब्जेक्टिव्स इज कॉल्ड बजट, ठीक है ना। तो आपने याद रखूंगा द formal statement of, तो आपने the formal statement of estimated incomes and expenses based on future plans and objectives is called budget. In other words, the budget is a document that a management makes to estimate the revenues and expenses for upcoming period based on their goals for the business. So what is budgeting? The entire process of designing, implementing तो आपने रखना व्हाट इज बजटिंग व्हाट इज बजटिंग? द एंटायर प्रोसेस ऑफ डिजाइनिंग, इम्प्लीमेंटिंग एंड ऑपरेटिंग ऑफ बजट्स इज टर्म्ड एज बजटिंग। बहुत ही इंपॉर्टेंट क्वेश्चन है। व्हाट इज बजटिंग? द एंटायर प्रोसेस ऑफ डिजाइनिंग, इम्प्लीमेंटिंग, ऑपरेटिंग ऑफ बजट्स इज कॉल्ड एज बजटिंग। बजटरी कंट्रोल, द सिस्टम ऑफ कंट्रोलिंग कॉस्ट थ्रू प्रिपरेशन ऑफ बजट इज कॉल्ड budgetary control, ठीक है ना। तो आपने व्हाट इज budgetary control, इसके लिए द सिस्टम ऑफ कंट्रोलिंग द कॉस्ट थ्रू प्रिपरेशन ऑफ, तो आपने व्हाट इज budgetary control, इसके लिए द सिस्टम ऑफ कंट्रोलिंग कॉस्ट थ्रू प्रिपरेशन ऑफ बजट इज कॉल्ड budgetary control. The budgetary control is the system of management control for various activities and comparing the budgeted figures with actual results and then finding out deviations, if any, which are determined to be determined in future. So this means simply आपने budgetary control क्या है? System of controlling cost through preparation of budgets. The budgetary control system is a system of management controls for various activities and comparing the budget figures with actual results and then finding out deviations which are to be eliminated in future. What is budgetary control? तो आपने budgetary control क्या है? The system of controlling cost through preparation of budget. The budgetary control is a system of management control for various activities and comparing the budgeted figure with actual results, then finding out a deviation, ठीक है ना, which are to be eliminated in future. तो आपने याद रखना budgetary control क्या है? The system of controlling cost through preparation of budgets is called budgetary control. The budgetary control is a system of management, तो आपने budgetary control is the system of management control, ठीक है ना। The budgetary control is the system of management control for various activities and comparing the budgeted figures with actual results and then finding out deviations which are to be eliminated in future. Thus, budget is a means for budgetary control. तो आपने thus budget is means while as budgetary control is the end result, ठीक है ना। तो आपने याद रखना thus budget is a measure, thus budget is a means and budgetary control is end result. तो आपने याद रखना the budget is means while as budgetary control is the end result. The budgets and budgeting are the parts of planning where budgetary control is linked with coordination and control. The budgets and budgeting are the parts of planning where budgetary control is limited with coordination and control. The budgets and budgeting are the parts of planning. तो आपने the budgets and budgeting. The budgets and budgeting are the parts of planning where the budgetary control is linked with coordination and control. Difference between forecasting and budgeting. Forecasting क्या है? Forecasting is the statement of probable future events which is generally long term and is the basis for performing budgeting. Budgeting क्या है? Budgeting is the target for future plan of action which is generally for an accounting period and it starts where forecasting ends. तो आपने याद रखो forecasting and budgeting में क्या डिफरेंस है? forecasting क्या है? forecasting ये स्टेटमेंट है probable future का है, probable future events का, ठीक है ना। तो आपने याद रखोगा the statement of probable future events is called forecasting, ठीक है ना। the statement of probable future events is called forecasting. Forecasting is generally long term. तो आपने the forecasting is generally long term and is the basis and acts as the basis for performing budgeting. तो आपने forecasting क्या है? The statement of probable future events is called forecasting. The statement of probable future events is called forecasting. The forecasting is generally long term and is the basis for performing budgeting. Budgeting क्या है? Budgeting is the target for, ठीक है ना। The budgeting is the target for future plan of action. The budgeting is the target for future plan of action which is generally for an accounting period, ठीक है ना। तो आपने याद रखना फोरकास्टिंग जो है इट इज़ अ लॉन्ग टर्म, वायर एज द बजटिंग जो है इट इज़ जनरली फॉर एन अकाउंटिंग पीरियड एंड द बजटिंग स्टार्ट्स वायर द फोरकास्टिंग एंड्स. रीजनस ऑफ प्रिपेयरिंग बजट, रीजनस ऑफ प्रिपेयरिंग बजट. तो आपने याद रखा द इम्पोर्टेंस ऑफ प्रिपेयरिंग बजट या द इम्पोर्टेंस ऑफ preparing budget या why preparation of या why budget preparation is important, why budget preparation is important. पहला पॉइंट है budget estimates revenues plans expenditure and restricts any spending that is not part of the plan. ठीक है ना. so this means budget estimates revenue plans expenditure. ठीक है ना. तो आपने the budget estimates revenue plans expenditure and restricts any spending that is not part of the plan. The budget ensures that money is allocated to those things that support the strategic objectives of the business. ठीक है ना. तो आपने कहा the budget ensures that money is allocated to those things that तो आपने कहा the budget ensures that the money is allocated to those things that support the strategic objectives of the business. The budget helps us to prepare for emergencies. ठीक है ना. So this means the budget prepares us for emergencies. A well communicated budget helps everyone understand the priorities of the business. ठीक है ना. A well communicated budget helps everyone to understand the priorities of the business. The budget helps shed light on bad spending habits. ठीक है ना. So this means the budgeting helps to shed light. ठीक है ना. तो आपने the budgeting and the budget helps us to shed light on bad spending habits. The process of creating a budget provides opportunities to involve staff, resulting in them sharing the organization's vision. The budget engages the team in reviewing and comparing the budget with actual, can provide information that highlights the strengths and weakness of the business. ठीक है ना. So this means the budget engages the team in reviewing and comparing the budget with actuals and can provide information that highlights the strengths and weaknesses of the business. Types of budget. Types of budget. There are mainly four types of budgets. There are mainly four types of budgets. There are mainly four types of budgets. That is on the basis of period, on the basis of capacity, on the basis of functions. ठीक है ना. एंड मास्टर बजट. तो सवाल बनता है नेम द फोर टाइप्स ऑफ बजट. इसका सही जवाब है तो आपने याद रखा द टाइप्स ऑफ बजट. द बजट हैज़ बीन क्लासिफाइड. ठीक है ना. ऑन वेरियस बेसिस. तो आपने याद रखा द बजट हैज़ बीन क्लासिफाइड ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ पीरियड, ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ कैपेसिटी, ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ फंक्शंस, ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ मास्टर बजट. तो आपने रखा टाइप्स ऑफ बजट ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ पीरियड, टाइप्स ऑफ बजट ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ कैपेसिटी, ऑन द बेस टाइप्स ऑफ बजट ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ फंक्शंस. तो आपने रखा there are four types of the budget has been classified on four bases. That is on the budget types of budget on the basis of time, on the types of budget on the basis of period, types of budget on the basis of capacity, types of तो आपने याद रखना types of budget. The budget has been categorized into various types on various bases. Types of budget on the basis of period or time, types of budget on the basis of capacity or flexibility. ठीक है ना. So types of budget on the basis of capacity or flexibility, types of budget on the basis of functions, and last पे है master budget. तो आपने याद पहले period budget. तो आपने types of budget, period budget, flexibility budget, function budget, and master budget. On the basis of period, we have long-term budget, short-term budget, current budget, rolling or progressive or continuous budget. ठीक है ना. So this means on the basis of period time budget can be on the basis of period or time the budget can be long term budget, short term budget, current budget, rolling or progressive or continuous budget. On the basis of flexibility or capacity the budget can be fixed budget and flexible budget. On the basis of functions the budget can be sales budget, purchase and material budget, production budget, cash budget, labor budget, प्रोडक्शन कॉस्ट बजट. पहले बात करते हैं टाइप्स ऑफ बजट ऑन द बेस ऑफ पीरियड और टाइम. लॉन्ग टर्म बजट. लॉन्ग टर्म बजट क्या है? द लॉन्ग टर्म बजट एक्ट्स एज ए गाइडलाइन फॉर शॉर्ट टर्म बजट्स. तो आपने याद रखना लॉन्ग टर्म बजट जो है इट एक्ट्स एज ए गाइडलाइन फॉर शॉर्ट टर्म बजट. ठीक है ना. The long-term budgets are prepared to depict the long-term planning of business. ठीक है ना, generally varies for 3 to 10 years. तो आपने बोला long-term budget are prepared to depict the long-term planning of business. The long-term budget generally varies between 3 to 10 years. The long-term budget is suitable for business entities, manufacturing, machineries, machines, electricity, etc. So this means the long-term budget is suitable for business entities, manufacturing, machines, electricity, etc. ठीक है ना. So this means the long-term budget जो है, they are prepared to depict the long-term planning of business. The long-term budget is generally varies between 3 to 10 years. The long-term budget is suitable for business entities, manufacturing, machineries, electricity, etc. The long-term budget acts as a guideline for short-term budget. तो आपने याद रखना, the long-term budget acts as a guideline for short-term budget. Short-term budget क्या होता है? The short-term budget are prepared to depict short-term planning of business. ठीक है ना? The short-term budget are prepared to depict the short-term planning of business. The short-term budget is generally prepared for, तो आपने याद रखना पहले, the long-term budget is generally prepared for 3 to 10 years. The short-term budget is prepared generally for 1 to 2 years. The short-term budget is suitable for industries producing consumer goods. ठीक है ना? Consumer goods industries are those sectors that relate to items purchased by individuals and households rather than by manufacturers and industries. तो आपने consumer goods industries are those sectors that relate to items purchased by individuals and households rather than manufacturers and industries. तो उसके बाद current budget. The current budget is a budget which is generally prepared for a very short period of time, say for less than a year, for a month or quarter. ठीक है ना. So this means the current budget जो होता है, it is generally for a very short period of time, say for less than a year, for month or quarter. Rolling budget. ठीक है ना. Rolling budget. Rolling budget is also called as progressive budget or continuous budget. The new budget prepared after the end of each month, quarter, for a full year ahead. बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट. रोलिंग बजट क्या है? The new budget prepared after the end of each month. तो आपने the rolling budget is prepared after the end of each month, quarter, for a full year. तो आपने the rolling budget is prepared after the end of each month. तो आपने the rolling budget क्या होता है? The rolling budget is prepared after the end of each month. The rolling budget is prepared after the end of each month or quarter. तो आपने याद रखूंगा, the rolling budget is prepared the rolling budget is prepared monthly or quarterly for a full year ahead. तो आपने the rolling budget is prepared monthly or quarterly for full year ahead. The rolling budget is continuously updated and extends the existing budgets. तो आपने the rolling budget is continuously updated. The rolling budget is continuously updated and extend the existing budgets. The rolling budget is also known as progressive budget or continuous budget. On the basis of flexibility, there are two types of budgets. That's fixed budgets and fixed budgets. ठीक है ना. On the basis of flexibility, the budget can be fixed or flexible budget. ठीक है ना. On the basis of capacity या on the basis of flexibility, the budget can be fixed budget and flexible budget. पहले बात करते हैं fixed budget के बारे में. The fixed budget is a budget designed to remain unchanged. The fixed budget is a budget designed to remain unchanged irrespective of level of activity actually attained. ठीक है ना. So this means the fixed budget is remains unchanged irrespective of level of activity actually attained. In other words, once the budget is in case of fixed budget, once the budget is prepared, it is not changed even if the level of activity changes. तो आपने the fixed budget जो है, in case of fixed budget, once the budget is prepared, it is not changed even if the level of activity changes. If the actual activity is different from budgetary activity, the fixed budget becomes useless. तो आपने if the actual activity is different, ठीक है ना. In case of fixed budget, if the actual activity is different from the budgeted activity, if the actual activity is different from the budgeted activity, the fixed budget becomes useless. The fixed budget is also known as static budget. The fixed budget is generally impracticable for business concerns. तो आपने बोला फिक्स्ड बजट जो है, it is impracticable for the business concerns. On the basis of functions, ठीक है ना. Functional budgets are also known as schedules to master budget, ठीक है ना, schedules to master budget or operating budget. आपने बोला the functional budgets, ठीक है ना, the functional budgets are also termed as schedules to master budget. तो आपने the functional budgets are also termed as schedules to master budgets or operating budgets. इसमें पहला आता है on the basis of functions we have sales budget, ठीक है ना, sales budget, purchase budget, प्रोडक्शन बजट, प्रोटेक्शन कॉस्ट बजट, लेबर बजट, कैश बजट. तो आइए पहले बात करते हैं हम सेल्स बजट के बारे में. इट इज ए स्टेटमेंट, सेल्स बजट क्या है? इट इज ए स्टेटमेंट ऑफ प्लानड सेल्स इन क्वांटिटी एंड वैल्यू बोथ, ठीक है ना. तो आपने सुना द सेल्स बजट क्या है? द सेल्स बजट स्टेटमेंट, द सेल्स बजट क्या है? सेल्स बजट क्या है? It is a statement. The sales budget is a statement of planned sales in quantity as well as value. The person responsible for preparing sales budget is sales manager. सवाल इस तरह से who prepares sales budget, इसका मतलब sales manager, ठीक है ना. तो आपने द स्टेटमेंट ऑफ प्लानड सेल्स इन क्वांटिटी एंड वैल्यू इज कॉल्ड सेल्ड बजट, ठीक है ना. द स्टेटमेंट ऑफ प्लानड सेल्स इन क्वांटिटी एंड वैल्यू इज कॉल्ड सेल्स बजट. द सेल्स बजट इज प्रिपेयर्ड बाय सेल्स मैनेजर. सेल्स फोरकास्ट इज कमेंसमेंट ऑफ बजटिंग एंड हेंस सेल्स बजट हैज प्राइमरी इंपॉर्टेंस. द सेल्स बजट कैन बी प्रोडक्ट वाइज, एरिया वाइज, कस्टमर वाइज, ठीक है ना, पीरियड वाइज. The sales budget is prepared on the basis of various factors like past year sales, competition, profits, advertising, reports of salesmen, etc. उसके बाद है purchase budget and material budget. The purchase budget and material budget is a statement that contains the details of inventory that a company must purchase during each budget period. तो आपने बोला परचेज बजट क्या होता है? इट इज ए स्टेटमेंट दैट कंटेन्स द डिटेल्स ऑफ इन्वेंट्री दैट ए कंपनी मस्ट परचेज ड्यूरिंग ईच बजट पीरियड. तो आपने परचेज बजट क्या होता है? इट इज ए स्टेटमेंट दैट कंटेन्स द डिटेल्स ऑफ इन्वेंट्री दैट ए कंपनी मस्ट परचेज ड्यूरिंग ईच बजट पीरियड. इन केस ऑफ परचेज बजट, अमाउंट stated in this budget is the amount needed to ensure that there is sufficient inventory on hand to meet customers' exceptions. The purchase budget is based on production budget. Budget can be direct material or indirect material. The purchase material budget can be direct material or indirect material. That is direct material budget and overheads budget, ठीक है ना. The person who is responsible for making या preparing purchase budget is called purchase manager. Most important area of cost saving, ठीक है ना, most important area of cost saving. Purchase budget specifies both quantities and rupees, that's cost. Material budget is usually limited to quantities only. उसके बाद है production budget. This budget is an estimate of number of units that must be produced during the budget period, ठीक है ना. तो पहले आपने परचेज बजट क्या है? The purchase budget is a statement that contains the details of inventory that a company must purchase during each budget period. तो आपने बोला परचेज बजट क्या है? It is a statement that contains the details of inventory that a company must purchase during each budgetary period, ठीक है ना. So this means the purchase budget deals with the inventory that a company must purchase during each budget period. उसके बाद है production budget. The production budget is an estimate of numbers of units that must be produced during the budget period, ठीक है ना. Production budget क्या है? This budget is an estimate of the production budget is an estimate of numbers of तो आपने द प्रोडक्शन बजट इज एन एस्टिमेट ऑफ नंबर ऑफ यूनिट्स दैट मस्ट बी प्रोड्यूस्ड ड्यूरिंग द बजट पीरियड. So this means production budget deals with the estimation of number of units that must be produced. In production budget, minimum inventory level of finished goods to be maintained by the firm is also considered. In production budget, in order to prepare production budget, the figures of sales budget and the desired inventory level are required. उसके बाद है production cost budget. This budget is prepared after the preparation of production budget. ठीक है ना? The production cost budget is prepared after the preparation of production budget. The production cost budget is prepared after the preparation of production budget. The production cost budget shows the amount of expenditure expected to be incurred to produce units estimated in the production budget. ठीक है ना? So this means production cost budget क्या है? The production cost budget shows the amount of expenditure expected to incur to produce units estimated in the production budget. उसके बाद है labor budget. Once the sales and production budgets are set out, the labor budget is prepared. ठीक है ना? Once the sales and production budgets are set out, the labor budget is prepared. The labor budget deals with the requirements of labor for the budgeted production. So this means the labor budget deals with the requirement of labor for the budgeted production. The labor budget may incorporate the details. ठीक है ना? So this means the labor budget may incorporate the details in terms of direct labor, price per hour and total labor etc. तो आपने the labor budget may incorporate the details in terms of direct labor, hours required, price per hour and total labor cost. The preparation of labor budget is the responsibility of departmental heads. तो आपने the labor budget या सवाल बन सकता है who prepares the labor budget, इसका सुझाव है respective departmental heads. उसके बाद है cash budget. Cash budget is a detailed budget of cash receipts and cash payments during the budget period. What is cash budget? इसका सुझाव है the cash budget is a detailed budget of cash receipts and cash payments during the budget period. Since the business functions and transactions cause the flow of cash, this budget is prepared after the preparation of all functional budgets. उसके बाद है master budget. Master budget. When all necessary functional budgets are prepared, master budget is prepared. Master budget is a summary of all functional budgets. ठीक है ना? So this means master budget क्या है? Master budget is the summary of all functional budgets. ठीक है ना? So सवाल इस तरह बन सकता है the summary of all functional budgets is called. So सवाल इस तरह से बन सकता है the type of budget which is the summary of all functional budgets is called master budget. So this means master budget is a summary of all financial budgets. The master budget gives overall view of the firm's plan for the master budget gives an overall view of firm's plan of action for budgeted period. In other words, the master budget contains a number of individual budgets known as functional budgets. ठीक है ना? In other words, the master budget contains a number of individual budgets known as functional budgets. In master budget, summary of functional budgets are incorporated. Master budgets तो आपने the master budget takes two forms, that is budgeted profit and loss account and budgeted balance sheet. तो आपने the master budget takes two forms, that is budgeted profit and loss account and budgeted balance sheet. In budgeted profit and loss account, all costs and revenue of all functional budgets are shown in summary form that reveal the profit and loss for the budgeted period. In budgeted balance sheet, all assets and liabilities are shown. That's why functional budgets can also be named as schedules to master budget. उसके बाद है features of budget. बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट क्वेश्चन है features of budget. Features of budget या good budget. Features of budget या good budget. The budget should be realistic and reasonable. बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट. The budget should be realistic and reasonable. The budget should be flexible. The budget should be regularly evaluated. The budget should be regularly evaluated. The budget should be properly planned and clearly communicated at various level. ठीक है ना? तो आपने the budget should be properly planned and clearly communicated at various levels. द बजट शुड ऑल्सो बी लिंक्ड इफेक्टिवली विद रिवार्ड सिस्टम, ठीक है ना। तो आपने द बजट शुड ऑल्सो बी लिंक्ड विद इफेक्टिव, तो आपने द बजट शुड ऑल्सो बी लिंक्ड इफेक्टिवली विद द रिवार्ड सिस्टम. Proper fixation of authorities, responsibility and accountability. So this means in a good budget there is proper fixation of authority, responsibility and accountability. All key employees should be made involved in the preparation of budget, ठीक है ना. All key employees should be made involved in the preparation of budget. Entire organizations must be committed towards the preparation and implementation of the budget, ठीक है ना. So this means entire organization must be committed towards the preparation and implementation of the budget. Budget should be quantifiable, ठीक है ना. So this means budget should be quantifiable and master budget should be broken down into functional budgets, ठीक है ना. The budget should be quantifiable and master budget should be broken down into functional budgets. अब बात करते हैं हम बजट पार्ट 2 के बारे में. बजटरी कंट्रोल पार्ट 2. What is budgetary control? इसका सब है the budgetary control is the process by which budgets are prepared for the future period and are compared with the actual performance to find out variance if any, ठीक है ना. तो आपने याद रखूंगा budgetary control क्या है. The budgetary control is the process by which budgets are prepared for the future period, ठीक है ना. What is budgetary control? Budgetary control is the process by which budgets are prepared for the future period. So this means budgetary control is associated with the future period. तो आपने याद रखूंगा the budgetary control is the process by which budgets are prepared for the future period and are compared with the actual performance for finding out variance if any. The comparison of budgeted figures with actual figures, ठीक है ना. the comparison तो आपने budgetary control चीज बनाओ किम खतर for future period खतर, ठीक है ना. पत चीज करा compare ते आत्मज, ठीक है ना. The comparison of budgeted figures with actual figures will help the management to find out variance and take corrective actions without any delay, ठीक है ना. The budgetary control aids and acts as a guide for the management in decision making process. तो आपने रखा पहले budgetary control acts, the budgetary control helps in comparison of actual performance, ठीक है ना, ठीक है ना. तो आपने रखा the budgetary control helps in the comparison of budgeted figures with actual figures. The budgetary control aids and acts as a guide for the management in decision making process. The budgetary control facilitates in cost management, especially in standard costing. तो आपने कहा the budgetary control facilitates in cost management, especially in standard costing. Objectives of budgetary control. बहुत ही important है. Objectives of budgetary control. Objectives of budgetary control. Defining the objectives of enterprise, ठीक है ना. So this means the budgetary control defines the objectives of enterprise. The budgetary control provides plans for achieving the objectives so defined. तो आपने याद रखना पहला क्या है. Budgetary control क्या करता है. It defines the objectives of enterprise. The budgetary control defines the objectives of enterprise. The budgetary control provides plans for achieving the objectives, ठीक है ना. So this means पहला ऑब्जेक्टिव क्या है budgetary control का. It defines the objectives of the enterprise. दूसरा है the budgetary control provides plans for achieving the objectives so defined. The budgetary control coordinates the activities of various departments, ठीक है ना. The budgetary control coordinates the activities of various departments. The budgetary control operating at various departments and cost centers economically and efficiently. तो आपने याद रखा the budgetary control operates in various departments and cost centers economically and efficiently. The budgetary control increase the profitability by eliminating waste. So this means the budgetary control increase the profitability by eliminating waste. The budgetary control centralize the control system. The budgetary control centralize the control system. The budgetary control corrects variance from set standards, ठीक है ना. तो आपने याद रखा the budgetary control corrects variance from set standards. The budgetary control fixes the responsibility of various individuals in the enterprise, ठीक है ना. तो पहले आपने याद रखना objectives of budgetary control क्या है. Defines the objectives of an enterprise, ठीक है ना. So this means the budgetary control defines the objectives of enterprise. उसके बाद The budgetary control provides plans for achieving the objectives, for achieving these objectives. उसके बाद है coordination भी budgetary control helps in coordination. That is, the budgetary control coordinates the activities of various departments. So this means budgetary control helps in coordination. उसके बाद है budgetary control helps various departments and cost centers to run efficiently. ठीक है ना? The budgetary control increase the profitability by eliminating wastes. ठीक है ना? So this means profitability. Budget control increase the profitability by eliminating waste. Next है the budgetary control centralize the control system. The budgetary control corrects the variances from standards. The budgetary control fixes responsibility of various individuals in the enterprise. तो आपने सिंपली याद रखना पहले budgetary control पहला क्या है, it defines the objectives of enterprise. दूसरा है it provides plans for achieving the objectives. ठीक है ना? उसके बाद है it coordinates. ठीक है ना? budgetary control helps in coordination. Budgetary control helps in profitability. ठीक है ना? profitability, centralization, correcting variances. ठीक है ना? and fix the responsibility. Steps of budgetary control. ठीक है ना? There are mainly 4 steps in budgetary control. पहला है developing budgets. दूसरा है recording actual performance. तीसरा है comparing budget and actual performance. Fourth one is taking corrective action. So there are the budgetary control undergoes 4 steps. That is, number first step developing budgets, number second step recording actual performance, number third comparison budgeted and actual performance, number 4 taking corrective action. पहला है developing budgets. The first stage in budgetary control is developing various budgets. ठीक है ना? The first stage in budgetary control is development of various budgets. ठीक है ना? या developing various budgets. तो आपने the first stage of budgetary control is development of various budgets. In development of budgets, utmost care should be taken while developing the budgets. So this means while developing the budgets in budgetary while developing the budgets, utmost care should be taken. The factors affecting the planning should be studied carefully and budget should be developed after a thorough study of the same. दूसरा है recording actual performance. There should be, this is the recording of actual performance is the secondary recording actual performance. ठीक है ना? There should be a proper system of recording the actual performance achieved. This will facilitate the comparison between the budget and the actual budget. ठीक है ना? Recording actual performance. तीसरा है comparison of budgeted and actual performance. After recording actual performance, the comparison between the budgeted and actual performance is done. ठीक है ना? So this means after recording actual performance, the comparison between budgeted and actual performance is done. The comparison of budgeted and actual performance the aim of comparison. So the aim of comparison of budgeted and actual performance is to find the deviation between the two and provide the base for taking corrective action. उसके बाद है taking corrective action. Taking appropriate corrective action based on the comparison between the budgeted and actual results is the essence of budgeting. A budget is always prepared for the future and hence there may also be variation between the budget results and actual results. There is a need of investigation of the same and take appropriate actions so that deviations will not repeat in future. Responsibilities can be fixed on the proper persons so that they can be held responsible for such deviations. तो आपने याद रखना पहले there are 4 steps of budgetary control. पहला है developing budgets. Number second है recording actual performance. Number third है comparison of budgets with actual performance. Number third है taking corrective action. Techniques of budgeting. ठीक है ना? Techniques of budgeting. The various following are the most commonly budgeting techniques. ठीक है ना? The techniques of budgeting can be traditional technique and modern technique. पहले बात करते हैं हम traditional technique के बारे में. Name the traditional techniques of budgeting. बहुत ही important question. Name the traditional techniques of budgeting. इसका जो variance analysis. What are the traditional techniques of budgeting? Name the traditional techniques of budgeting. इसका जो है variance analysis, responsibility accounting, adjustment of funds. Name the name the modern which is the modern technique of budgeting, इसको zero based budgeting, ठीक है ना. which is the modern technique of budgeting, इसमें zero based budgeting. पहले बात करते हैं हम variance analysis के बारे में. in variance analysis method in variance analysis budget is prepared for each and every department, ठीक है ना. variance analysis, in variance analysis budget is prepared for each and every department. Then a comparison is made between actual and budgeted figures. After comparison, variance are determined, which can be favorable or unfavorable variance. For example, the difference between the actual labor cost and estimated labor cost is labor variance. This technique of the variance analysis technique of budgeting helps in reducing cost and is the most commonly used technique for budgetary control. Responsibility accounting. Responsibility accounting. The responsibility accounting is considered as good technique for budgetary control. The responsibility accounting is considered as good technique for budgetary control. In responsibility accounting technique, 3 centers are created. बहुत ही important question है. In responsibility accounting technique, 3 centers are created. That is cost center, profit center, investment center. तो आपने in responsibility accounting technique 3 centers are created, that is cost center, profit center, investment center. All the 3 centers, that is cost center, profit center and investment center are like the departments of organization, and employees are classified on the basis of these centers. The performance of these employees is recorded manually and their accountability is fixed regarding certain goals. The responsibility accounting technique aids in decision making such as promotion and demotion based on employees' performance. Adjustment of funds. Under adjustment of funds technique, या adjustment of funds क्या है, third technique जो है of budgetary control. Under this technique of budgeting, decision is taken by the top management regarding allocation and adjustment of funds from any project to other, from one project to another. तो आपने होगा adjustment of funds. Under this technique of budgeting, decision is taken by, तो आपने होगा in adjustment of funds technique, तो आपने in the budgeting technique of adjustment of funds, तो adjustment of funds जो है it is also technique of budgetary control. So this means under adjustment of funds the decision is taken by top management regarding allocation or adjustment of funds from one project to another. For example, if a business requires funds for setting up a new project and there is a surplus amount allocated to already existing project, then such surplus can be adjusted against the new project for its initial setup. The adjustment of funds technique facilitates proper allocation and adjustment of funds and prevents misuse. उसके बाद है zero based budgeting. Another important technique which is the zero based budgeting technique. Another important technique which is immensely popular these days is zero based technique. So this means the present budgetary control technique is इसका सही जवाब है zero based budgeting technique. The zero based budgeting technique is also known as de novo or scratch based budgeting. ठीक है ना, बहुत ही इंपॉर्टेंट क्वेश्चन है. The zero based budgeting technique is also known as de novo or scratch based technique. बहुत ही इंपॉर्टेंट क्वेश्चन है. The zero based budgeting is also known as de novo. तो आपने याद रखना the zero based budgeting technique. The zero based budgeting technique is also known as de novo or scratch batch budgeting. The zero based budgeting is also known as de novo or scratch based budgeting. Zero based budgeting is also called ZBB. बहुत ही important question है. Zero based budgeting is also called ZBB. The zero based budgeting is the process of creating a budget from nothing without using prior years of budget. ठीक है ना, without using prior years budget. Thus the zero budgeting is also called ZBB. The zero based budgeting is the process of creating a budget from nothing without using prior years budget. The zero based budgeting technique process starts from zero base, from the scratch or from scratch, taking base year as zero. In zero based budgeting technique, all expenses are firstly judged and must be identified to remain in the budget. In other words, every function in organization is analyzed for its needs, scores, then the budgets are built regarded of whatever each budget